Welcome to the fastest 30 minutes in football. Today on Play to Win, 680 The Fans, Sandra Golden joins us right here on the set. Can't wait for that. Plus, we will be breaking down the college football championship game and also the divisional playoffs in the National Football League today and tomorrow. Plus, we'll have injury updates and fantasy football playoff edition.
Play to Win is being brought to you by John Foy and Associates and Kia Mall of Georgia and Mall of Georgia Chrysler Dodge Jeep.
Welcome to Play to Win with former Falcons All-Pro defensive end Chuck Smith, Fantasy Football League previews with Adam Brown, game analysis with Nikki Williams, Play to Win expert Jeffrey the Ed Schechter, medical and injury update with Dr. Andrew Lalage, and your host, Atlanta sports veteran Bob Neal.
Our college football report is being brought to you by Mall of Georgia Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Kia Mall of Georgia.
Welcome to the show. Nikki Williams not with us this week, but I am so pleased to have my very good, dear friend Sandra Golden with us.
Oh, I am so honored and flattered to be here. I watch it every week, and now I'm sitting here on the set, and I have to behave myself, so I promise to behave. Nikki, I love you, girl. Welcome back soon.
Nikki doesn't behave herself, so feel free.
That's my role.
Feel free to just let it all out. Sandra Golden joining us today. It's really great. Now let's talk about the football, and we're going to first kind of have a thought about the bowl games. Then we'll talk about the national championship game that comes up soon. But first, the bowl games. Let's take a look at what the conferences did. And Sandra, I'm going to go to you first on this. You take a look at the Pac-12 record, followed by the SEC, particularly the SEC West, that had only one team win. What does this say about the SEC? A lot of people are saying the era is over. The SEC is not the dominant conference. Your thoughts?
Well, I think in 2015, you'll see that the SEC is just going to fold up. They're not going to play at all because clearly, when in the wide world of sports do we decide that our entire season should be defined by these silly bowl games that, quite frankly, the SEC West, they already had their bowl year. It's called the SEC West, and then they go play this. You're telling 20-year-olds to care about the bowl games? I find it a bunch of mush.
Okay, so the rumors of the death of the SEC are premature.
Way premature. Ridiculous.
Jeffrey, your thoughts about it?
Well, 5 SEC East teams and Arkansas and A&M defeated 7 mediocre teams. But the other 5 teams of the West, they lost to good teams. So the SEC may not be the superior conference everybody thinks they are.
You know what's going to be tough about that, Chuck, is that now that there's a playoff, any team that wins a national title has got to win 2 games.
That's right.
It's going to be tough for anybody to go 7 in a row like the SEC did.
Well, and you're right. And I think the one thing that we miss, I think it's built on regional pride. They have definitely built some regional pride. If you're in the Midwest and Ohio, you're feeling a lot better about your high school football. If you're in Oregon, oh yeah, the experiment from 15 years ago that Nike produced, it's working. So I just think that the playing field's been leveled a little bit, but the SEC still is the king of college football.
All right, it's time for our showdown of the week, and guess what that is? It's the national title game, brought to you by the Georgia Lottery, the Ducks and the Bucks. And let's start with you, Chuck. We've got Ohio State and Oregon. What do you think about the game?
Well, I'm quacking. I think it's Oregon. I think they got the best player in the game, Marcus Mariota. I think he's fantastic. He makes all the throws. And I just feel like it's just their time. Yeah. Oregon, and I called them experiment, and that's what it was with this program in the Northwest. And now they got the best player in college football. If you'd asked someone that 10 years ago that Mariota would be a Heisman Trophy coming out of Oregon, people would have laughed at you, but not anymore.
And Sandra, as you know, I hate Ohio State because I'm a Michigan man.
That's right.
But they're there. And I do know this. Ohio State's got a great front four defensively. Be interesting to see how they play against Mariota. What's your thought on the game?
I listened to Kirk Herbstreit this week, and he is from Ohio State as well. He's very concerned the fact that the NCAA championship game for Ohio State was last week, knocking off Alabama. How does Urban Meyer go us against the world again when they have to play Scoregan? Because that's all they do is score again and again and again.
Sandra Golden, score again. That's the first time I've heard it.
I can't even talk about it. They beat them big, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, your thought on it?
Got to give Urban Meyer all the credit in the world. Ohio State came from nowhere. Now they're in the championship game, but I got to give them a little advice. Don't fall behind Oregon 21-6.
Exactly. And here's the deal. By the way, Urban, you've got Jim Harbaugh to deal with next year at Michigan. I had to get it in. I'm sorry. All right. We'll be back in just a moment on Play to Win. Hail to the victors.
It's a new year with great savings on all our new vehicles at Mall of Georgia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Pick out a new Dodge Dart SE with automatic for only $189 per month. This is a purchase, not a lease. A 2015 Chrysler 200 Limited is only $229 per month. Also a purchase and not a lease. Or find a 2014 Ram 1500 Crew Cab for just $359 per month. Purchase, not a lease. See us at Mall of Georgia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, or online at yourdodge.com.
Honey, what's wrong?
We won the jackpot.
I know, it's only 15 million.
The jackpot wasn't even in the triple digits?
I was feeling lucky.
You feel lucky now? Because we need a new dishwasher. I haven't had a mani-pedi in several weeks. How are we going to do that on 15 million?
Make it work.
We'll have to cancel the cable.
I'm so sorry.
Play Mega Millions with jackpots starting at 15 million and Powerball starting at 40 million.
Right after I got hurt in my car wreck, the other guy's insurance company offered to fix my car. But they only offered me $750 for my injuries. And then they wanted me to sign this.
Don't sign anything until you've talked to me. I'm attorney John Foy, the Strong Arm. You may be giving up tens of thousands of dollars by signing the insurance company's release form. Call me.
The insurance company offered to fix my car and offer me this check for $1,000.
Don't take that check. Let me get you the money you deserve. Call on the Strong Arm.
Call attorney John Foy, the Strong Arm.
Your life moves fast, so when your plumbing goes bad, we know you want it fixed fast. I'm Brian Estes, inviting you to see what we can provide with our plumbing services. We're dedicated to the same high standards of quality we've held ourselves to since 1949. From leak repairs to water pressure, from water heaters to toilet issues. Estes is dependable, proven, and ready to help. Call Estes and we'll fix it at the speed of life.
We're Estes Services. We'll fix it at the speed of life.
All right, time for the NFL playoff games that are happening later today and this evening. It's Baltimore at New England. That game's at 4:35 this afternoon. Then the night game, Carolina at Seattle. Let's start with Baltimore, New England. And Jeffrey, what do you think about this matchup, Ravens and Patriots?
Baltimore's the last team New England wants to play. They beat them 2 years ago in the playoffs, should have beat them 3 years ago in the playoffs, and Joe Flacco is like as cool as they come in the playoffs.
Sandra, you had an interesting note about Joe Flacco.
Yeah, about Joe Flacco, and it was coming from somebody so credible in the fact that it was Steve Young saying, Joe Flacco's got that beater that doesn't matter, the ticker, that it doesn't matter if he's running a 50-yard dash or if he's standing still, whether it's the first game of the season or the playoff, he's the same guy, and that's exactly what you want in the playoffs. Specifically, what Joe Flacco has done has been amazing. I wouldn't want to play the Ravens right now either.
All right, so the steady heartbeat and the poised
cool
quarterback.
What did you say? Cool as a cucumber is Mr.
The
Joe
other side
Flacco.
of the pillow.
The other side of the pillow.
Stuart
Scott, nice.
What do you think? You like the other quarterback.
Yeah, well, I like the other quarterback because he might be the same as we're talking about Joe Flacco, but he's not the best. Tom Brady, I believe, is going to be the best quarterback in this playoffs because he makes everybody better. Watch out for Tom lighting him up with his arm, making some big plays.
All right, Carolina, Seattle. They've lost a big defensive tackle.
You're not kidding. He was the run stopper, Starla Latulelele, and lo and behold, if they had any chance at all, because I know no one's given Carolina a shot, Cam Newton and company to go up to Seattle, the run stopper, he is officially out. No chance now at all.
All right, what about what do you think about Richard Sherman?
Well, I think the Legion of Boom, they've been playing as good as anyone, Bob. And Sandra, I'm going to tell you like this. Cam Newton has no chance, I believe. I don't even believe they're going to get the running game going. I believe in Seattle with the 12th man, this team is fueled by those fans. I just believe defense is going to be the key for Seattle's win.
You guys aren't buying the whole Cam Newton after the car wreck is a different guy. I believe we can fly, Superman. No, nobody's buying
Not if
this.
he gets knocked around by the Legion of Boom.
The Legion of Boom. I got your girlfriend. Okay.
Jeffrey, one comment from you about this game. You're going to pick them in a minute.
They're probably the two most physical teams in the league, but I think Carolina's a little beaten up right now.
All right, we're going to come back in just a moment. Continue with Play to Win. Don't go anywhere.
We gave people a mind-blowing ride in what they thought was our most advanced Altima race car. Then, we just blew their minds.
It's just crazy that this is like the car. I was just it.
The 2015 Nissan Altima with blind spot warning and zero-gravity seats. Lease today just $189 per month or get 0% APR for up to 60 months. Altima, from the most fuel-efficient lineup in America. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Nissan, innovation that excites.
We've owned a few different houses through the years. Your company was absolutely the best. They were so professional. Everything they did, they didn't get a mark on a wall or anything else. It was clean, it was friendly, and it was fun. And most of the time, moving is not fun. I'm going to give a great recommendation to Atlanta Peach Movers. It's always on time and it's always professional. There is no tree in Atlanta Peach Movers.
To schedule your move, call Atlanta Peach Movers today.
Nuclear power is one way we do it. Natural gas is another option.
And so are these solar panels.
With so many ways to generate power, including coal and hydro, Georgia Power can choose the most cost-efficient energy source available, saving money for our customers while keeping power flowing across our state 24/7. Learn more about our commitment to low-cost energy at georgiapower.com.
Hometown Team Report is being brought to you by Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers, bringing a higher order of pizza to Atlanta for 40 years.
Welcome back to our Hometown Team Report. And today the report's about Georgia and the Falcons, and it all involves coaches. We're going to start with Georgia. Georgia has a brand new offensive coordinator to replace Mike Bobo from the Rams. It's Brian Schottenheimer. So he's coming from a great stock. Of course, his father, a great coach himself. He's coming from great stock. He also played at Florida under Steve Spurrier as a backup to Danny Werfel as a quarterback. And you've coached with him and know this guy well. Give us the inside scoop on Brian Schottenheimer.
Workaholic Bob. Shotty, that's what we call him, because a lot of times, as me being one of the coaches with the Jets, we would spend the night there, and he would be game planning. I mean, he would never go home. He's a master game planner. He understands the run, and I believe his upside as a college coach, I mean, the sky's the limit. I really believe that.
I'm shocked that he went from the pros. He was with the Rams for the past 3 years. Their offensive numbers were among the league's worst. But going to your point, the quarterback guru, if you will notice, Georgia fans, you already know this, 2016, the five-star quarterback, Jacob Eason, the stud, everything was kind of on hold. His father, Tony Eason, said, hold on, we're going to see who they get as the OC. Lo and behold, that phone call was made from Mark Richt saying, Schottenheimer, your thoughts? Tony Eason said thumbs up. They want to make sure that he doesn't get negative recruiting against Georgia, which was brilliant. Get somebody that he signs off on.
All right, here you go, Jeffrey. Two people here who know what they're talking about really like this. What do you think it's going to mean to Georgia next year?
They'll be the best coached 10-3 team in the country next year.
Boo! They'll still be 10-3 no matter what they do. I hear you, Jeffrey. All right, now we're going to talk about another issue, and that's the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons, as the time we're recording this show, still haven't selected a head coach. So the Falcons head coaching is underway, and also some changes in the front office. And Sandra, how do you make of this? Once again, as we do this show, the coach hasn't been selected yet.
Yeah, I don't know if I make of it. I don't know if anybody does. I'm just going to give you the facts because I can't even get started on my opinion on this. If they've interviewed 7 or 8 so far, they have announced they're going to have a list of finalists. Rex Ryan is among those finalists. Also, the big shakeup that came down on Thursday was Thomas Dimitroff will not be drafting and scouting. That goes now to Pioli. So how does it all shake down? There'll be 2 people reporting to Thomas Dimitroff. 2. One is to Arthur Blank. Thomas Dimitroff and the head coach.
I don't
The
get
head
it.
coach is now reporting to Arthur Blank.
Chuck, your thoughts on this?
Well, my thoughts are they just got to get it right. It's time. The fans are looking for a championship. No matter who's making the calls, Arthur Blank has to put the right pieces in place to make sure it's all about winning a championship. That's all that really matters.
All right, Rex Ryan, they're coming back, as Sandra just said, for a more round of interviews. Rex Ryan, one of the guys. What do you think about that, Jeffrey?
Don't hire him.
Okay.
He's a coordinator, just like his father. He's a coordinator, and he's a clown. And that's as good as it gets.
Okay, if he gets hired, I don't doubt we're going to get him as a special guest on the show when Jeffrey's on the set with us, and Jeffrey's always on the set. We'll be back in a moment with more Play to Win. But first, we've got to, Sandra, you know, people who are on the Tonight Show get like $500. You're so good that 500's nothing. So we're bringing you, if Justin will come on, five Mellow Mushroom pizzas.
Oh.
It's a pizza breakfast for Sandra.
It is delicious, and I can't thank you enough.
You'll share that with us?
No, I don't think so, actually.
Right. I doubt it.
I like Jeffrey. Jeffrey's over here with me, and he's bashing on Rex Ryan. I love it. Here, this one for you. That was funny. Chuck, I've always loved you. You get one.
The Wizard, can you make me real so I can eat real mellow mushroom pizza instead of cartoon pizza?
Stand back. Here we go. Alakazam! Wiggity stickity poof!
I'm still a cartoon.
Then that'd be a no.
Everyone wants real mellow mushroom pizza because our pies use premium meats and cheeses, fresh veggies, and spring water dough baked with wheat goodness.
Wiggity stickity poof.
Mellow mushroom, a higher order of pizza.
We're getting ready to open our new dealership, so the biggest sell down ever continues now at Kia Mall of Georgia. Treat yourself to a new 2015 Kia Sorento, starting at only $19,997, or choose 0% APR for up to 72 months. We have the 2015 Kia Optima, starting at just $16,997, or choose 0% APR for up to 72 months. Two amazing cars with 0% APR for up to 72 months. Kia Mall of Georgia, 2.5 miles west of the Mall of Georgia, or online at lovemykia.com.
Today's injury report is brought to you by John Foy and Associates. If you've been injured in an accident, be sure to call John Foy, the strong arm.
All right, the NFL injury list now for the playoffs. And let's start with the games, first of all, in the NFL that are on Saturday. Notice that Timmy Jernigan is out for Baltimore. Danny Aiken, the center, with a finger problem for the Patriots. And the big one there, Star Lotulelei, for the Carolina Panthers, the defensive tackle. He had foot surgery. He had been a beast lately. That will be an important injury. Now the games on Sunday in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers, the calf injury. I understood that he practiced a little bit on Thursday. He is probable, says he is going to play. And you look down at the bottom, Paul Kornick, a big absence for Denver. He is the tackle, questionable with a toe injury. And that is the NFL listing of injuries brought to you by John Foy and Associates. And now it's time with Dr. Andrew Lalage has joined us along with Adam Brown for Fantasy Report. Dr. Lalage is going to have the medical player report and his grades in a moment. But first of all, let's get right to the fantasy report. And you're going to look at the top players at each position in these playoff games. My first question to you is, you list them, the quarterbacks, 1 through 8. Explain how you list them as opposed to who is necessarily just the best quarterback.
Right. So Aaron Rodgers plays Dallas. I'm ranking these players by how they're going to fare against the defenses they're playing against. For instance, Aaron Rodgers is playing Dallas. Cam Newton is playing Seattle. That's why Aaron Rodgers is number 1 on my list and Cam Newton is number 8 on my list this week.
All right, now let's see. Cam Newton obviously is playing against Seattle, and that's your deal.
Right. So Cam Newton was 12 for 22 for 171 yards, an interception and a fumble in Week 8 against Seattle.
Okay, let's take a look at the running backs now in the playoffs. C.J. Anderson there. I see Eddie Lacy you got listed as 3rd.
Eddie Lacy has 9 straight games with at least 100 yards from scrimmage. Very impressive stuff from Eddie Lacy.
And Daniel Herron, you're down at 8.
Yeah, even though he had a massive week last week, caught 10 balls out of the backfield, I think he's going to struggle this week against a much better Denver defense than Cincinnati was.
All right, playoff wide receivers now. The wide receivers, several of them listed here, but 3 that you want to point out, beginning with Demaryius Thomas.
Demaryius Thomas has 21 receptions in the last 3 weeks, but only 1 TD. But look for Manning to find him early and often this week.
All right, Dez Bryant, Dallas.
Dez Bryant has played 2 games in his career versus Green Bay, and in those games he has 20 catches, 239 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
All right, let's go now to the tight ends, the playoff tight ends. And we noticed Gronkowski, Greg Olsen, and Owen Daniels. I want to talk about Owen Daniels mostly.
Owen Daniels is a tricky pick this week. He's at number 6. I think he could be a little bit higher this week and have a good week when both Smiths, Torrey, and Steve are doubled. So I think he could have a pretty good week this week.
All right, there you go. That is the Fantasy Football Report brought to you by SD Services. And now it's time to bring on board Dr. Andrew Lalage, Chief Medical Officer of the Radiology Group and creator of InsideInjuries.com. And you're talking about quarterbacks, and you have some interesting thoughts about 4 of the quarterbacks in the playoffs this week.
Yes, I mean, the 4 really important quarterbacks, they've been battling chronic injuries all season long, and now it's going to be really important that a lot of defensive backs are going to be targeting these injuries, and it's going to significantly limit them during the game. Let's start with the first athlete, Peyton Manning. Everyone's talking about Peyton Manning. His neck injury is going to come back and haunt him through the playoffs, and now with the thigh injury, his mobility and the ability to throw is going to be limited. The next athlete is Aaron Rodgers. He has a grade 1-2 calf strain. He's a mobile quarterback. It will affect his ability to move, and again, defensive backs will take issue with that. The next athlete is Tony Romo. I mean, transverse process fractures, herniated discs, rib fractures, all of these things, again, in the pocket, defensive backs will target. And finally, the apple of my eye, the A grade, Andrew Luck, no injuries. He is actually almost perfectly healthy, so he should have a very good game.
Wow, that's going to be a good one. Andrew Luck and the guy he replaced, Peyton Manning for Denver, Dr. A, and Adam Brown with our player medical report and the fantasy report. And we'll be back in just a moment to talk about the NFL playoff games that'll be tomorrow in the National Football League.
Nothing like waking up on that first cold day of winter weather and turning on your heating system only to find out it doesn't work. I'm Tommy Estes. Call Estes Services ahead of time and avoid the discomfort. With our pre-season maintenance and safety inspection, your system can be running at peak efficiency. Call us today or visit estesair.com and find out everything this inspection offers. Save energy and money with dual fuel. Call your man for all seasons at Estes.
We'll fix it at the speed of light.
Right after I got hurt in my car wreck, the other guy's insurance company offered to fix my car, but they only offered me $750 for my injuries, and then they wanted me to sign this.
Don't sign anything until you've talked to me. I'm attorney John Foy, the Strong Arm. You may be giving up tens of thousands of dollars by signing the insurance company's release form. Call me.
That same day, the insurance company said they will fix my car and offered me this check for $600.
Don't take that check. Let me get you the money you deserve. Call in the Strong Arm.
The NFL Report is brought to you by the Greater Atlanta Nissan dealers. Innovation that excites.
Okay, now we're going to talk about tomorrow's NFL divisional title games, and let's get started with taking a look at them. My favorite game, the one I'm looking forward to most, is at Dallas Green Bay. Also a good one, Indianapolis going to Denver. And let's start first with looking at some facts about the Dallas and Green Bay playoff game. And notice the first game in Green Bay since the Ice Bowl, which was back in 1967. And Jeffrey, down at the bottom, something I know you've noticed, Green Bay 8-0 at home, Dallas 8-0 on the road.
Well, something's going to have to give. Both teams had a very good year. Just got to give Dallas a little advice. They're not going to pick up any flags in Green Bay.
No controversy on Dallas' part. Sandra, how do you see it?
Well, I've been paying attention to Aaron Rodgers all week. He just doesn't sound right. And I heard the good doctor talk about that calf and that it's medically okay. But unless he's just playing an awfully good possum, I don't think he's close to being healthy.
All right, how about the running game, Chuck? You usually look to that.
Yeah, and I think it's going to come down to Eddie Lacy for Green Bay and DeMarco Murray. I believe whoever runs the ball and has the most carries is going to control the clock, control the ball, and then eventually run the clock out. I believe it's going to be the running game.
All right, and then later today, there will on Sunday, there will be the Indianapolis game at Denver. And remember, earlier in the year, Sandra, in September, Denver won this game 31-24.
Bob, that was oh so long ago. That was my reference to Peyton Manning and the second half of the season for Peyton Manning, bless his heart. I'm just waiting now. The pendulum has swung the other way. Luck be the lady that night.
Luck be the lady. And
Did
Jeffrey,
you like me singing, Jeffrey? Come
how
on.
do you like the singing? Jeffrey, don't sing back.
Sounds like Marlon Brando and Guys and Dolls.
Exactly. All right, Chuck, what do you think about Indianapolis, Denver?
Man, I think the pass rushers are going to stand up. Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, 2 Pro Bowlers for Denver. I think they're going to give Andrew Luck all they can handle. Pass rush is the key. Andrew Luck's going to struggle.
Isn't it interesting that at the beginning of the season we see Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning, everybody be looking to Peyton, but right now the best quarterback on the field for that game tomorrow is not Peyton Manning, it's Andrew Luck.
Unbelievable.
I think most people agree about that.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that game, Jeffrey, Indianapolis-Denver?
Indy has a home defense and they have a road defense. Unfortunately for them, they're going to be playing their road defense this week.
And that's not a good thing, so we'll see what happens in that game. We'll be back with more Play to Win. Don't go anywhere.
We gave people a mind-blowing ride in what they thought was our most advanced Ultima race car. Then, we just blew their minds.
It's just crazy that this is like the car. I was just it.
The 2015 Nissan Altima with blind spot warning and zero-gravity seats. Lease today just $189 per month or get 0% APR for up to 60 months. Altima, from the most fuel-efficient lineup in America. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Nissan, innovation that excites.
Why can't I have a slice of yours?
You're a cartoon. You can only have cartoon pizza.
It's not fair.
Look, this pie is 100% real, and you're colored ink. It's physics, man.
Well, can you buy me a beer?
I can buy you a cartoon beer. Are you single?
It's right.
Everyone wants real mellow mushroom pizza because our pies use premium meats and cheeses, fresh veggies, and spring water dough baked with wheat goodness. Mellow mushroom, a higher order of pizza.
Honey, what's wrong?
We won the jackpot.
I know it's only 15 million.
The jackpot wasn't even in the triple digits?
I was feeling lucky.
You feel lucky now? Because we need a new dishwasher. I haven't had a mani-pedi in several weeks. How are we going to do that on 15 million?
Make it work.
We'll have to cancel the cable.
I'm so sorry.
Play Mega Millions with jackpot starting at 15 million and Powerball starting at 40 million.
Running any business is perpetual motion. You have to stop and look around if you want to save money. Georgia Power can help. With rebates for upgrades to lighting, energy-efficient heating and cooling systems, and other high-efficiency equipment and appliances, any business can lower their energy bill. Learn more about commercial energy efficiency programs at georgiapower.com/commercial savings.
Today's Lightning Round is brought to you by Georgia Power Company. Get energy efficient and get rebates from Georgia Power. Go to georgiapower.com.
All right, it's time for Jeffrey the Edge Schechter in the Lightning Round, and we start with the NFL Divisional Playoff games.
New England can't be happy about playing Baltimore in the first round. Baltimore has a way of giving them a hard time. I like Baltimore with the 7 points.
You like Seattle big, huh?
Carolina did everything they could to blow that game last week. Seattle give them a beating this week.
Dallas at Green Bay?
Good matchup. I just think Green Bay's got too much for Dallas. Give the 6.
A lot of people like Indianapolis, but you're going with Denver -7.
You know, I'm not crazy about Denver as a team. I just think Indy on the road, their defense a little shaky. I think Denver's going to be good enough to lay the 7 with Denver.
All right, the College National Championship game. Now you are going with the Ducks.
It's their year. And you know what? They don't run out the clock. They run up the clock. Give the 6 with Oregon.
All right, and now Dr. A with his sleeper pick in the NFL.
Marshawn Lynch, he's pretty beat up the whole year with a C grade, but key loss for the Panthers with the defensive end, Star.
Star Latulele. They make me say that because I'm the announcer. And by the way, I want to thank Sandra Golden from 680 for being on set with us. You were terrific.
My pleasure. Y'all are wonderful.
Don't go anywhere.
Thank
And we
you.
paid her $5
million.
mellow mushroom pizzas worth more than rubies. Thank you so much. So are you.
Love you guys.
We'll see you next week on Play to Win.
Today's show has been brought to you by Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers and the Greater Atlanta Nissan dealers.